everyone, it's Mimi and welcome to my channel. Today we're going to talk about a scary story on Chinese social media Douban on 2013 February the 3rd, which is about 12 years ago. A person who called Waya Lucy, and if I can't find a reasonable scientific explanation for this, and if my friend isn't hiding anything from me, then this is the most undeniable paranormal event I've ever personally witnessed. The story itself is simple. The furniture in my friend's room has been completely mirrored multiple times, yet she, living in the room, have no collection of it ever changed. My friend worked at a design company that provide employee dorms. Her apartment was in a residential complex in Wangjing. She had the largest room in the upper floor, right in the center. Right next to her, there was another female colleague. There were other 3 males living downstairs. They were merely co-workers. Everyone went straight to their room after work. They rarely interacted with each other. Most of her colleagues also frequently on business trips, often spending more half of the month away. Her room had a sliding door that faced the bathroom entrance. If the bathroom wasn't closed, it was unsettling. The layout of her room was perfectly symmetrical. Radiators on both sides upon entering, and an air conditioner in the center of the opposite wall. So the first visit was in late June. I stayed over 2 or 3 days. The apartment felt eerily empty, lacking any warmth. Inside the room, I noticed that her bed, bedside chair, and the cabinet were on the right side upon entry. On the left were a glass display case, a black piano, and a desk without a computer. The second visit in July, I returned a month later, only to find that the entire room layout had been mirrored. The furniture was completely swapped. The bed, cabinets, and chair were on the left, while the piano, display case, and computer desk had moved to the right. I laughed and teased her. "You must have way too much energy to go through all this effort just to arrange everything." She gave me an almost bewildered look, as if I was the crazy one. I found it baffling. Moving such heavy furniture, including a bed, a wooden cabinet, a glass display case, and a piano, would be a huge task. Why would she do that? I kept pressing her for answer. She got annoyed and insisted. "I've never moved anything. It's always been like this." But I clearly remember it's been the opposite before. Her irritation grew as I kept questioning her, and she eventually snapped. "Fine, you got me. I just feel like I want to switching everything." That explanation made sense, except she constantly complaining about being exhausted from work. Her only free time was on weekends, and instead of resting, she spent all that energy rearranging her entire room. It just didn't make sense. Still feeling skeptical, I dug up some selfies I was taking on the first visit, one in front of a mirror and another at her desk. I recreated the same shots during my second visit for comparison. The results were clear. The angles were reversed. I showed her the photos, but she dismissed them, accusing me of flipping them in Photoshop just to scare her, which I didn't. Even with solid photographic proof, her room had never changed. She insists, "I live here every day. How could I not notice if the furniture has been reversed several times?" Then, in August, came the twist that sent the shivery down my spine. In August, one night, she called me, sound shaken. She had just realizing something disturbing. She has recently shared a photo on Weibo that her friend took in August 5th. In the picture, she was playing with a cat on top of her air conditioner, while her friend took a shot from the bed, but the bed was on the right side of the room. That meant, at some point, in early August, the furniture had been swapped again, without her noticing. I immediately contacted her friend for confirmation and took a screenshot of our conversation. Here you go. It was undeniable, yet she insisted that everything has always been in the same place. At this point, both her friend and I had stayed multiple times and seen layout changed with our own eyes. Between our first-hand experience and the photos, there was no way our memory were mistaken, and I'm not the only one. And there are other strange reoccurrence keeps happening in this room. One night, when all her colleagues were out on business trips, she was alone in the apartment. She called me, clearly terrified. She had heard noises from downstairs, footsteps, the sound of someone entering the apartment. But then she checked. The front door was still locked. Her own room sliding door was broken and couldn't be securely shut, so she didn't feel safe staying there. She quickly moved to her colleague's room next door, which had a proper lock. As she stepped out of her own room, she saw the bathroom door wide open. She froze. She did remember that she closed that door earlier. It was a turn handle lock, which means it cannot be opened on its own or by wind or something. Panicked, she locked herself inside the colleague's room, called friends for reassurance, and even changed her QQ status. If my status hasn't changed by the morning, someone please call the police. She stayed awake all night. When morning came, she checked her room and the rest of the apartment. Everything was in its usual place, like nothing was stolen, and that the front door was still securely locked. Reflections years later. So after 10 years, this post has been updated again. After August, I visited her place a few more times. She eventually quit her job and moved away, which is good. Over time, life moved on, but this incident remained one of the strangest things I've ever encountered. Even after at most a decade, she firmly believes that nothing ever changed in her room. Yet, I know what I saw. The evidence was right in front of us. I don't claim to have an explanation. I still believe in science. This experience taught me that something remained beyond our understanding. Was it a glitch of reality, a parallel universe sliding through, or something else entirely? Some people commented to believe that her friends had some sort of issue with her brain, that she did it, but then for example, another personality came up and swapped the room, and then she woke up and didn't realize it, or something like that. We may never know, but one thing is certain. The writer said she will never forget this mystery as long as she lives. Thank you so much for watching this video. I'm Mimi. Bye bye.